My name is Lanny, Lavalley, and that was in E4. I graduated in high school in 1963 and had gone on to 2 years of community college, junior college at that time. And in the summer of '65, I had ended my 2 years, and at that time was looking for employment. Pretty difficult to find employment because that's when the military started drafting heavily. So to find employment, most employers weren't ready to train you or spend any money upon training you because they knew that if you were at draft age, it was probably going to be a loss for them. So looking around for different employment, I wasn't able to find any. And so I went back down to my draft board and asked, and applied actually for, and been accepted at a 4-year university, but not for September first semester. I'd been accepted for a second semester. So I'd gone to the draft board and asked for a deferment. The draft board person said, okay, I think that would be okay. We put you on deferment since you had, were going to enter in January of '66. So in the meantime, I had done, various jobs trying to find some sort of spending money. I picked apples in an apple orchard and sold Christmas trees and did a few things. And then the next thing I knew, I had a letter from the government telling me to report for a pre-induction physical, and that was in September of that year, of '65. After that physical and passing the physical, they said it would be probably 6 to 7 weeks before I would hear anything from the government. Well, in about 2.5 weeks, I had my notice saying to report for a pre-induction physical. And I went down to the draft board and asked this lady what's going on. She said, well, they need personnel, and there were no deferments since, though I had one from January of '66, that was no longer, it was void. And so did the physical, waiting for the draft, and sure enough, 2.5 weeks later, I get a letter, and I said, well, I know where I'm going if I'm drafted. So it was either, I went down to a recruiter and said, well, he said, you got a choice, 2 years in the Army or 4 years in another branch. So I decided to go into the Navy at that point in time. So I was sworn in the Navy in October, around the 14th or 15th of 1965. But I was on a delay program because they had so many enlistees that I didn't go to boot camp until December of '65. And I left for boot camp in Great Lake, Illinois on December 31st, arriving in Illinois on January 1st of 1966. So spent the 3 months from January till the end of March, I believe, we graduated from boot camp, and I was in the boot camp, had taken battery aptitude tests, and they said I would be qualified. They needed electricians, and I would be going to electrician A school in San Diego, California, and had to, I think, report there in early April. So followed the program. Boot camp was not really cold to me, although it was for a lot of people, because I was from the north. I'm from the Canadian, 15 minutes from the Canadian border in the Adirondacks, and cold weather wasn't really a significant issue with me. Boot camp, took it in stride. I was an athlete in high school. There wasn't any really strenuous or anything that I wasn't capable or able to do. So I kind of, just went along with the program, followed it. Things needed to be done and did what you were told to do, and progressed through there until the assignment in California. So I went home, I believe, for 2 weeks of leave, then reported in mid-April to San Diego, California, Electrician A School. From mid-April till I think it was the first part of August, I had completed that school, completed the school, and initially had received orders, as my graduating class had, to river patrol boats in the Mekong Delta. And we were told that life expectancy was about 3 weeks at that time, the PBRs. And that was quite an awakening, thinking that, okay, and they said there would not be any leave, that you were leaving directly from California to Vietnam, where initially I joined the military not to be sent to. So for some reason, during a period of time, our graduating class all had a change of orders. So everyone was, for some reason, sent to the East Coast. The graduating class before us did go to the PBRs. The graduating class after us went to the PBRs. They changed our orders. So I was to report to Newport, Rhode Island, to the USS Kepler on the 16th of August of 1966.